September 23, 1780. A lone rider moves through the woods of upstate New York. In his boot are papers that could end the American Revolution. 3 poorly paid militiamen step out from behind a tree. They have no idea they are about to stop a betrayal that could destroy the United States before it's even born. But one of them is about to make a choice that will cost him everything. This is the untold story of John Paulding, the man who refused a king's ransom and saved George Washington's army. By 1780, the American Revolution was hanging by a thread. The Continental Army was exhausted, starving, unpaid. Morale was crumbling. Soldiers deserted nightly. And then came something worse than British cannons: betrayal. General Benedict Arnold, once one of America's most brilliant battlefield commanders, had secretly agreed to hand over West Point to the British. West Point wasn't just another fort, it controlled the Hudson River. If the British took it, New England would be cut off from the rest of the colonies. The rebellion might collapse overnight. Arnold's plan was simple. He would deliver West Point in exchange for money and a British commission. To finalize the deal, a British officer named Major John Andre slipped behind American lines. His mission? Secure the details, escape undetected, and carry back the documents that would doom the revolution. September 23. Morning fog clings to the road near Tarrytown, New York. 3 local militiamen stand watch: John Paulding, Isaac Van Wart, David Williams. They're not famous generals, they're farmers. And Paulding? He had just escaped from a British prison ship weeks earlier. He had been beaten, starved, humiliated. Now, fate places him on that road. A well-dressed man approaches on horseback. He looks confident, polished, almost relaxed. Paulding steps forward. "Which side are you for?" The rider answers quickly, "The British." He assumes these rough-looking men are loyalists. He's wrong. The rider is Major John Andre. Realizing his mistake, Andre quickly backtracks. I am a Continental officer." Too late. The men search him. Nothing. But Paulding isn't satisfied. He notices the officer's boots. Take them off. Inside the stockings, papers. Detailed drawings of West Point's fortifications, troop numbers, cannon placements. Proof. Proof that an American general has sold his country. Andre goes pale. He understands exactly what this means. If he's exposed, the entire British plan collapses. So he does something bold. He offers them money, a lot of money. Historians differ on the exact amount, but it was enough to make 3 poor farmers rich for life. Gold, protection, anything they wanted. Just let him pass. Think about that moment. No cameras, no crowds, no promise of fame. Just 3 tired militiamen in the woods, and a fortune in front of them. Paulding had suffered under the British. He had every reason to hate the war, to want comfort, to want security. He could have taken the gold. No one might have known. But instead, he refuses. "We are Americans," he says, in effect, through his actions, "and we will not be bought." Andre increases the offer. More money, more promises. Paulding stands firm. They tie Andre's hands, and in that quiet forest clearing, the fate of the revolution shifts. The documents are sent up the chain of command. Washington is alerted. Benedict Arnold senses exposure and flees to the British lines just in time. The plot to surrender West Point collapses. The Hudson River remains in American hands. The colonies remain connected. The war continues. Historians agree, if West Point had fallen, the revolution might not have survived. And it wasn't a grand army that stopped it. It was 3 men who refused to sell their integrity. Major John Andre is later tried as a spy and executed. Even Washington reportedly admired his courage. Benedict Arnold's name becomes synonymous with treason, a word American schoolchildren still learn centuries later. But John Paulding, Isaac Van Wart, David Williams, their names rarely make headlines. Congress did eventually award them medals and small pensions, but no statues tower over city squares in their honor. No Hollywood epics tell their story. Yet in one quiet act of moral courage, they preserved the fragile dream of the United States. Paulding returned to civilian life. No fortune, no glory, just a clear conscience. Years later, as the young nation struggled to find its footing, few remembered the foggy morning near Tarrytown. But imagine if he had taken the gold. Imagine if greed had outweighed conviction. History textbooks might look very different. The American flag might stand for something else, or nothing at all. Sometimes history doesn't hinge on cannons. It hinges on character. 3 ordinary men, 1 impossible temptation, a nation hanging in the balance, and a choice that said, freedom is not for sale. History remembers victories. It remembers generals. It remembers battles. But sometimes the fate of a nation rests in the hands of men no one expected to matter. And that is the untold spirit.